Hi guys, welcome to Babe Talks, a podcast about life and all its experiences. Have you ever recorded something and then you realize that you have not actually saved what you have recorded? That is my situation right now. Whew, I'm heartbroken. But anyway, I have to repeat this. God, I need a minute or two. Anyway, welcome back everybody to another episode of Babe Talks. It's your girl Babes, and I'm always thrilled to be here sharing with you every week. Hey, the consistency, Van Nag. I didn't know it would be this consistent, but anyway, I'm glad that at least we are 4 episodes now and we are still moving. How are you guys? How was your week? My week has been quite interesting. What happened in the week? Okay, I've remembered what happened, but I'm not going to be sharing it anyway. But anyway, hope you had a lovely week. Hope everything has been going on great. And I hope if it wasn't that good, I hope that this week is going to be another a game changer. So anyway, this week we are going to be talking about a topic. I don't know if it's juicy, but it's something that I thought about sharing. And the title of today's topic is, are we losing our sense of community? Or have we lost our sense of community? This is more of a thought-provoking question. You may not need to answer it immediately, but anyway, for now, let's get right into it. First of all, Google defines community as a group of people living in the same place or having something in common. But personally, I would define community like people that we share life with. This starts all the way from small groups like family, then to the neighborhood, to the schools, and what else? The social class that we live in, all the way to the world as a whole bundle of community. So definitely we cannot downplay the role that community plays in who we become. All the way from childhood to youthhood to adulthood and so on until we continue aging, we continue to evolve with the community, and then it shapes the way we think, who we become, and yeah. So definitely guys, I always have a story. You should know, if you are listening for the first time, you should know that I always have a story to everything. So anyway, growing up, I grew up in a very community based environment. We didn't have fences at home, so we were just like a community, very many children from around. And then I was always like, I grew up at my neighbors' places. Generally, Mama Sharina, shout out to you. So we were always a group of kids playing games. Guys, did you play Toko Toko? We used to collect like small bananas, and then we would go to the rubbish pit and get some dirty container and cook food. Then we would go and steal like salt from like each person. Everyone had something to contribute by then. Then quiso. Now it's called hide and seek. Never nag. Anyway, back in the day, it was called quiso. Mumaze neda. And then we had kakebe, where we had like a chitin. People who didn't play kakebe, do I have to explain what kakebe is? Anyway, you never know. We have some Basama kids listening. We would have a chitin, HKB, and then we would go and it was more less than quiso, but the final person who was not caught by the person who is like looking for people would come and kick that chkebe, and then like the person has to count again. I don't know if I've explained it well. Never nank. Anyway, we had like this game ropes. Guys, aren't I forgetting? where there was bladder skipping and all these things, and then football. Yeah, I played football bananga with the guys. Bananga, I also played mama neta ta. What didn't I play? Anyway, I also played this game, birthday games, wedding games, whereby we would make cake. Meanwhile, it wasn't even a real cake. We would get buns and put sugar on top, and then that would be like the cake. So we would serve each one a bun with sugar, and then we would celebrate like someone's birthday, or we would celebrate like someone's wedding. We'd get like a cup of, what were we doing? We seriously had no business making couples out of kids. But anyway, to get to that point, we were in a community, I must say. All the neighbors were in charge of the safety of the children. When we were hanging out at that time, it was not even hanging out. That time it was going to like someone's place. They were in charge of taking care of us. We were given food. We were given like we would watch movies, we would watch TV together, and each parent was in charge of taking care of all of us, like about 20 kids. But as we continued growing, people started to fence their houses, people started to shift. So the community sense started deteriorating. My sense of understanding of community started deteriorating until like after that I went to boarding school, and now like the community shifts. When we would come back home for holidays, these guys, like the ones we grew up playing with, had now like become strangers. Then again, it all advanced to campus, to like high school, whereby now you're looking for where you fit in, the kind of people who like make you laugh, your deca mates, your desk mates. Now that became like the community, all the way now to campus, whereby you're then who chooses who exactly is your community, who do you relate with, which kind of company do you want, and then you start forming that as a community. So when I sit down and compare to what is happening currently with the children, things have changed over the years, definitely. And now people have more gated communities, and there's more sense of individualism, because now the children are playing with phones and iPads and all these things. They're not exposed to like different people, and now like technology has come and played also a big role. So things have shifted and things continue to shift. So now even when you go to these young kids birthday parties and everything, you realize instead of them running around and playing, yes, it happens, but it wasn't as much as it was happening back in the day. Now the child is going to ask for the parents phone and wants to watch, I don't know, whatever cartoons are there right now. These guys know how to use phones even more, even better than the parents. So you can see like it gives you less interaction with people. So you grow up and it's not the same, honestly. It just gives different vibes for me. But that is not only now for the kids. Right now, even technology for the adults has advanced, that we have our phones. We are always on the phones. We are always like having things to do on the phone. You realize that we are strangers to one another. When you see 3 or 4, maybe teenagers or youth seated together and they don't know each other, they've just met for the first time, chances are high that they are going to be on their phones. Tweeting, texting, snapping, TikToking, all these other social media platforms and everything, instead of having like verbal interaction, instead of getting to know one another. So I acknowledge that there are very many factors that have led to more individualism, but I think technology takes the first place, honestly, especially now with social media. It has exposed us to different cultures, cutting out the sense of Ubuntu. Ay, Ubuntu is the African culture. So it's like, I think its motto, guys, let me use the word motto. Its motto would state, I am because we are. So it gives credit, it accredits more of the community helping us become who we are. So now this sense of Ubuntu has phased out, or is phasing out, I must say. And actually, I'm a victim of this situation, whereby sometimes you sit with someone, with a stranger, and instead of saying hi or starting up a conversation, it honestly seems cringe. You're going to think, now when I say hello and she says hi, after that, what happens? Like, it's going to die like that. Or if a guy is to say hi to a girl, the girl is going to think that maybe the guy has intentions of maybe vibing or wanting to start a relationship with her. So it's just very awkward. It's now awkward to talk to someone. Like, I'm imagining saying hi to like a stranger, how they're going to look at you. Sometimes someone can look like, what does she want? Or why are you saying hi to me? It just gives plastic vibes. Also, social media has created an illusion of us being close to together. You are able to see the people, your hobbies from primary, even nursery, secondary, university. It has kept us more interconnected. You are able to see someone who is abroad, Asia, Europe, USA, and wherever. It has made the sense of community look real, but actually we are distanced than ever before. We are actually drifting apart. You're seeing everything going on in someone's life, but you're not seeing everything going on in someone's life. I don't know if it makes sense. You're seeing the illusion, but you're not even seeing like the real facts. Let me give an example of streaking. Guys, I'm coming from my streaking, guys, and I actually streak, and I'm attacking myself here. So in streaking, it's a Snapchat thing. For those who don't know about streaking, you send each other pictures or videos every day without fail. But you realize we are sending each other videos, pictures about what's happening in our lives every day. But at the end of it, 3 weeks later, 3 months later, 3 years later, you realize that you actually didn't know what was happening in this person's life. And yet you have been in communication, you've been in touch for every day of that period of time. So at this point, are you communicating? Okay, you're communicating, but the sense of community is not there, and yet it gives an illusion of, oh, this is my person, we are in touch, I know you, you know me. Yet in actual sense, this is a stranger. Another way social media has created an illusion is, instead of calling a friend to catch up after a long time, it's easier to just send a text. And you know, guys, how texts go. Usually they're going to kill a conversation. So you realize, hi, you're saying hi, you're hi-hiing every day, every week, but you're not even having a full down like conversation. This person is a stranger, but just because you think you are keeping in touch, you think that we are that tight. So it's like you're communicating, but the communication is not effective. There is no impact. There is no real impact in the person's life. The person is not feeling your presence, and neither are you feeling their presence. And now, like, you go out with your friends, maybe with the person you're dating, and even with your family, everyone is on their phone. You realize you're going to talk for 2 minutes and have your phone for 30 minutes. Everyone is updating, everyone is snapping, taking videos, taking pictures, instead of enjoying the time that you actually have with each other. So this also kills the sense of community that we actually have. Nanti tuli mu mulembe gwa content, guys. Content here, content there, content everywhere. You have to show what you're doing at every time. Even the interactions that we have with one another are recorded. I'm with my mom, my sibling, or I met my best friend of primary. Everything is being documented. So are we really having these conversations for ourselves, or we are having them for the sake of content? Research actually shows that there are actually the highest cases of depression nowadays, more than ever before. And this is because in a world where we are together and interconnected because of the internet, we are actually alone. You realize that we are alone and with no one to really talk to, nowhere to actually belong to. And yet, as human beings, we thrive together. We are designed to connect, we are designed to belong, and that's where we thrive best. No wonder nowadays people are always depressed. The young kids, huh? Guys, that generation coming after us is actually the most depressed generation because the interactions are less, the community is less, and then you realize they are looking for something and they can't find that thing. Yet it's just community, it's just belonging that they are craving. No wonder the case was different for our parents' generation. I remember growing up, I would see my mom in case we got a new neighbor in the community. My mom and the rest of the community members would go and welcome the person to the community. Or even when we shifted to a new place, my parents would go and introduce themselves to the community, to the neighborhood rather. So you realize like people get to know you, get to interact with people, people's birthdays. I remember on my birthdays, my sister's birthdays, we used to have all the kids from the whole theater. And no wonder during wedding ceremonies, people were always exceeding. But now, like, that's not what we want. We want a limited guest list. Like, how did this person help me? Or I don't even know them like that. How do they attend my wedding? So you realize that everything is continuously shifting. Actually, do you guys even know your neighbors like currently? The people you're staying with in the same hostel, you can leave after 3 years and then you don't even know their name. That would not happen back in the day. Back in the day, you go create a rapport, jazz, you go next day you're playing Ludo, the next day you're playing cards, the next day you're playing Monopoly. But Monopoly was not there back in the day anyway. Sagala kubalimba. But you know what I mean? Maybe you are playing Dulu, Zala, I don't know. But at least there was something that was bringing them together. So you realize that back in that day, the sense of community, you didn't have to do much to create it, but now we have to be deliberate. We have to put effort, we have to put emphasis in creating a sense of belonging, in creating a sense of community. And in what ways can we do that? First of all, charity begins at home, it begins with us. So the change begins with us as individuals. Banage guys, let's do better. Let's keep our phones, down for some time when we go to interact with our friends, when we are interacting with our family at work. Let's get time and put our phones down and have genuine relationships, genuine conversations, genuine talks with people. I know sometimes you'll be like, how am I going to share? I don't want to share my personal life because I don't even know them like that. And it's true, it's right to be fearful because nowadays, Vanange, you create a conversation with someone and then they'll go on the internet and then, story time. I met this girl, or my friend told me this, or putting you on a podcast, Munanga, sharing your story on a podcast. Guys, it doesn't mean I'm going to do that, but I'm just giving an example of how your conversation or your connection becomes content for people. I understand that's where the fear comes from, but sometimes it's not that deep. Having a conversation with someone helps you. I don't know, but for me personally, after having a conversation with someone, especially a stranger, I'm fulfilled. I don't know, there's this fulfillment that just comes and clears my heart. I don't know if it's the same for you, but you can try it out. You don't have to be on the phone the whole time. Another way to improve the sense of community, I feel that it starts from a family. The first unit of community is a family, or is supposed to be a family unit. So create the bonds with the parents, with the children. Let there be a comfortable environment to share achievements or cry together in sorrow. Be there for each other in times of need or in times of happiness. If people can't find community in their family unit, which is supposed to be the basis of a community, then the ideology to community is going to slowly cease to exist. You realize nowadays people say that blood is not thicker than water. It's because the family has not created a conducive environment. You realize we have been betrayed in their family. A lot has happened in the family, and this has broken the bond of a family. And if the family bond breaks, the community bond is going to suffer as well. People in the families are not our friends. Like, you realize your siblings are not your friends, your parents are not your friends, your maternal people are always complaining about the paternal side of the family, that they are not your friends, or you are actually sworn enemies. So we need to find a way to bring the family bond back together in order to also reduce the cracks that are happening in the community as at large. Another way is to balance the use of social media and technology. The gadget shouldn't be on all the time. Social media, get some time, get off social media, get someone to handle those streaks for you guys. You don't have to be on the streaks the whole day, says me anyway. But have a specific time to be on social media. Make sure you create genuine connections with people. Check on that old friend that you have not talked to in a while. Instead of sending a hi, call the person and have a conversation. I know sometimes I've been in a situation personally, guys. Allow me to share this experience whereby I was wondering, are we friends anymore? It's because we had spent like months or even years without talking. And yet, this person was like my close friend back in my high school days. So I was just like confused, like, we've not talked in 1 year or 2 years. Are we still friends? So yes, once in a while they would respond to my status, I would respond to their status, the highs here and there, but I didn't feel the connection anymore. Not until we were on a call and we talked for hours and hours and hours, and in the end we concluded we are actually friends. So you realize these kinds of conversations, not just texts, but calls, video calls, a place whereby you can feel someone's emotions. It creates more sense of community than just these plain conversations. So I urge you guys to try it out. I know it will work for you, because personally it worked for me. And nowadays when I want to talk to someone, I'm going to give them a call. I know sometimes it feels like it's a bit cringe, but just try it out, and I hope you won't get disappointed. Yes, sometimes you may find that person moved on, but still, at least you did the best. Another way to improve the sense of community is to get out more banange. Guys, now we have been in our rooms. That COVID came. When COVID came, it just murdered what community is, or what community is supposed to be. So, guys, revive. Get out of your bed, dress nicely, go out, meet people, interact with them. Yeah, you'll feel better. Go to church, go to Rotary, go to different places when you're invited. Don't start giving very many excuses. Just appear, and then you never know. You'll feel better. The sense of community will come, and you never know the kind of bonds that you create will be better. Something that I have actually remembered is just be reliable. When someone trusts you with their conversations, after bonding with people, and sharing information, sharing ideas, sharing emotions, don't go to the internet, or don't go elsewhere and start your story times. Don't go to your podcast and start giving stories of people. Just enjoy the moment and leave it there. Not everything has to be publicized on the internet. Yeah. Or when you go out with your friends, you don't have to take pictures all the time. You know, yes, you can take, but let it be for a limited time and just enjoy the moment. Not everything is content. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, from verse 9 to 12. It says, two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Also, if two lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? Though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. And it finalizes by saying a cord of three strands is not quickly broken. So we can see that the Bible as well emphasizes the value of community, the value that we cannot do life alone, the value that we share by being together. I would like to conclude by posing a question to you. Do you think we are losing our sense of community? And do you like that we are losing our sense of community? Or do you even prefer individualism? Share your experiences in the comment section. And yeah, I can't wait for your feedback, guys. Like, comment, share, subscribe on my YouTube channel, and then follow on all the podcast platforms. And yeah, I'll see you again on another episode of Bip Talks.